What's your general game plan versus Nina? I freeze during her jab pressure and don't know when it's okay to disrespect her. Interesting questions. Well, okay, so let me tell you what I think about Nina. First of all, her only low that is dangerous in terms of knockdown is very unsafe, but you can't see it, right? It's the wipe the floor, right? That low is the only one you should really be ducking for. And so if you think of it that way, right? You're standing up against Nina. She's got a bunch of moves, but none of them are gonna be that dangerous except for that wipe the floor, right? That's the one. Everything else you can sidestep around or block, or, you know, she has some good homing moves. Down back 2 is good. She has an orbital type of punch that's dangerous. It has like some, you know, shitty properties that piss you off. She's evasive too, right? So the key to beating her is knowing the highs and the lows and the strings. There's a string that a bunch of mid to low tier Nina players spam. It's just like Junkyard. It's like an up forward 4-3 type of a string. You have to low parry that, or else they're gonna just do it all day long for sure. A couple other things, like if you're a legacy type player, Nina's down 3-2 before used to be minus 15, which was a launch punishable thing. Let's go pick Nina. She's cool. I always like having an excuse to pick her because I like the character, and I always have liked the character, but she's got a backsway. I hate that backsway. But you know, doesn't mean you can't have a visual aid.
Thank you.
Really great character, if you ask me. One of the coolest. Way cooler than Anna. 100 times cooler than Anna. Anna's bunk. Super bunk. I mean, what's up with the dress? She's no good. She's whack. Get rid of her. They did. Nice. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding about anything I said, but you know, I'm kidding. Anyway, as I was saying, this is the low. This low, if they do it right, you can't really see it. You can't see that. It's too fast. So you have to, in your mind, think to yourself, when I'm gonna duck, it's gotta be for that, right? Otherwise, you're gonna want to low parry if you see, like, maybe this is a, yeah, this low is whatever. You don't need to duck for this low. How many times are they gonna have to hit you with this to kill you? 100 times, right? No knockdown. I think it's plus a little bit, right? You're in crouch. It's a good low. It's not a shitty low. I think it doesn't knock down on counter hit. So it's not a shitty low. Try aiming. Yeah, that's a good point. But the real important thing, I think, for Nina is like low parrying these strings. There's a bunch of strings that she has. If you don't know those strings, they're gonna just pick you apart. And I suspect that the Nina players that are picking you apart, they're preying on your ignorance. Really, they are. Nina's the type of character where it's like, oh, this guy doesn't know how to fight Nina, then they start drooling. Oh, you don't know how to do that? You don't know that down 3-2 is only minus 13 now? It used to be minus 15. This used to be minus 15. Where is this second action guard on? This. So it used to be something that was really high risk, like Law's down 2-3. But now, this is pretty reasonably, to throw this out, you're only going to get punished by a minus 13. And this is a counter hit launcher and a high crush. So this is a lot like Law's down 2-3 in a lot of ways, except it's not launch punishable. So, you know, little things like this will add up to a lot, right? Because if you go and try to, let's say, launch punish this, you're going to get punished.
Thank you.
Because your launch punisher is going to get blocked by Nina, you know. Oh, down 4, this kind of offense is also like, keep in mind, one thing that I think most people don't remember is that this game does not have chip damage. The chip damage is the low pokes, right? It's like you're just getting hit by these little lows. So, you as a defender, if you're just holding back, how many times do I have to do stuff like this? You know, like, just holding back. Let's not make her stand guard. Let's not make her crouch guard. Just stand guard. So, of course, you know, I'm not the best player in the world, right? And obviously there are a lot of ways that a Nina player is going to break you down, right? But in reality, if you're stand blocking, right? How many things is she going to have to hit you with before this becomes a whole round lost? A lot. Even if she wipes the floor with you and does the follow-up, which I think is something, I don't know how to do it. Maybe it's 4-4-3. Yeah, I think that's it. This is guaranteed. You can't get out of that. I don't think. So, what are we talking? 38 damage or something like that. Alright, that's pretty good damage. That's enough to get you to duck, right? But this is the only move, as I said, that she has that's a low that's worth ducking for because of the stagger she gets off of it. So the risk reward to ducking when you think this is coming is worth it, as opposed to something like, you know, this or this, you know? I think this is also launch punishable on block as well. Sidestep 4. But it's rarely used unless you're, like I said, if they're preying on your ignorance, then you're fucked anyway. You need to do some matchup research. That's how this game is, man. If you don't know how to punish stuff, then you're already like, you can't just ask me, hey Aris, what do I do against this character if you don't even know how to punish stuff, right? So you gotta at least first know how to punish stuff, right? Sidestep 2, you know, this is a popular move. You just go watch a Nina player play. Maybe the one that beat you, maybe you can watch that match. Or when they're beating you, you can observe what they're beating you with. And then just think about it later. Like, man, I got hit by this shit so many times. What do I do? And then you record that shit. You know, you go over here, repeat action, record. Alright, so he's fucking me up with 1-4-1, sidestep, whatever. You know, you record it. And then you play it back. And you try your different tools. Can I reverse it? You know, maybe I can back sway or something. So, what you're thinking now is, man, that sounds boring. That sounds like homework. Yeah, you're right. It sucks. And it is like homework. What most people do, including myself, is you get fucked up online, then you turn that shit off, and you don't give a fuck about it for a day or two, and then you're right back into online. You didn't learn a fucking thing. In fact, you probably, since online was such a shitty experience, you probably like forced out the memory of your last experience. And now you're fresh. Alright, let's try that again. I didn't learn a fucking thing from last time, and I forced myself to forget it. Let's try again. Yeah, right. You feel me? Well, anyway, first best advice is always that you gotta understand the character, for sure. And the way to understand the character is to watch other good players play the character. Like, you know that guy Victimo F. Ritual? He's been putting in work, he's been doing all kinds of sick shit with Nina. So it's like, alright, let's watch him. What's he using? What are the problem moves that are beating top level players? Right? So, then you take note of those things and you figure them out. And you understand what they're all about. And that's basically how it works with every character, more or less. But there are some strategies that can be applied versus some characters. But a lot of the time, those types of strategies depend on your character choice. Which is where the matchup comes in. You feel me?